Okay, this is a deck profile on my fairy deck. Mainly used sometimes with agents and stuff. And this is the main card of the deck, main key. You special summon him by removing from play any agent monster from your hand, field, or graveyard. You banish it, special summon him. You can remove from play one fairy type from your graveyard to destroy one card on the field. If you have Sanctuary in the Sky, you could do up to 2 fairy type monsters in your graveyard. Banish, destroy 2 cards. Splendid Venus. He is lowers your opponent's monsters by 500 attack. Oh, and their defense as well. And they can't negate the effects and activations of your spell or trap cards. So like Royal Decree would not work, stuff like that would not work. Archlord Christia, I only run 1 of him. I know most people run 2, but my deck like is basically nothing but special summoning, so it kind of screwed me over since he negates it. But if you have exactly 4 fairy type monsters in your graveyard, you could special summon him, special summon one of those fairy type monsters due to his effect. When he's destroyed, he's sent back to the top of your deck, so there's practically no getting rid of him. Athena, I use her a lot. Like, I have my Hyperions in the graveyard, and I have one of the agents or like a little fairy type monster I wouldn't really use. I could discard that card to special summon one. If it's on the field though, you have to do it on the field. I could discard it to special summon one fairy type monster from my graveyard. Good 2600 attack. Neo Passerat, Sky Paladin. I don't have the regular Archet Passerat, but I just prefer him. I can easily special summon him, 2300 attack, and his effect, he does piercing, and if I have that one field card, I could have him gain a lot of attack. Depends on the difference. Goddess of Light. She's good for drawing when you really need it. Like if she's on the field, you draw a light fairy type, reveal it to your opponent, and draw another one, and you can keep going like that. Good, 2400. Guardian Angel Jones. I use her for power, and sometimes when I really need life points, she's very helpful for that. DDM, Different Dimension Master. He's good for bringing the cards that I remove from play with my Hyperion. All it has to do is just discard one magic card. He's not a fairy, he's the only, well, I'm not sure if he's the only, but he's good for bringing strong remove from play cards. And 2, obviously, limited to 2. When she's summoned, you can bring one of the agent cards from your deck to your hand. If you have the Sanctuary in the Sky, you could bring Master Hyperion. She's a level 2 tuner. Run 2 of him for Hyperion. When you can remove from play one of the agent from your graveyard to choose one light fairy type monster and have it gain 800 attack. If I have Sanctuary in the Sky, I could discard one card from my hand, bring one of my remove from play cards. I have to discard one fairy type. Bring one of my remove from play cards, special summon it. I run 1 of him because I don't really use him that much. Discard him, bring Sanctuary in the Sky, good 2100 attack. Valkyrie, the Nordic Ascendants. She's good for the Synchro Odin. Level 2 Synchro, basically what it is for. Hecatrice, he's good for getting the Valhallas to my hand, and that's basically all I use him for. It's pretty good. Brainjacker, I know, Dark Fiend, but he's good for getting any stupidly good effect cards that your opponent has on your side of the field. Mainly what I use him for. Honest, boost your attack of what your opponent has, just he's attacked or you attack. Discard him to the graveyard, gain that attack. Arcana Force 0, the Fool, cannot be destroyed by battle. You always want to set him not in face-up attack position, because he's mainly useless that way. Magics. 2 Valhallas. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you could just special summon one fairy type monster from your hand. 2 sanctuaries, activate certain fairies' effects, and during battle, any damage between a fairy becomes 0. Monster, bring 1 card from your graveyard. MST, simple. Area from a different dimension, you could bring some of the remove from play cards that you've used Master Hyperion effect with to your graveyard, so you could reuse his effect. Heavy Storm, simple. Dark Hole, simple. BDR, bring them to your field, whatever you remove from play with Hyperion. Dark World Shackles comes in very good handy. Equip it to one of your opponent's monsters. That attack and defense becomes 100. They cannot change their battle position nor attack, and they lose 500 life points during your standby phase. Cards from the sky, remove from play 1 fairy type monster from your hand, draw 1 card. Luminize, turn 2. When your opponent attacks, you negate their attack and declare, negate their attack, choose 1 light fairy type monster on your side of the field, your opponent's attack until your next end phase. Magic Cylinder, simple. Framing Shield, simple. Solemn, simple. Bottomless, simple. Fiendish, simple. Nightmare, simple. Divine Punishment. You have to have Sanctuary in the sky on the field, negates the effect of a spell, trap, or effect monster effect, and destroys that card. Then, Light End Dragon, good for power. His effect, ability attack of 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field if you're attacking it by 500. No, by 1500. You lose 500. Ancient Fairy Dragon, he's good for defense. I don't really use his effect that much. And Odin. He is a very good key to the deck. Once per turn, you can activate his effect to negate the effects of any spell or trap cards that target him. And he's a good 4,000 attack. He's very good. And that's your fairy deck. Hope you liked it.